Hey everyone, and happy Valentine's Day. It actually snuck up on me this year. I feel like I wasn't quite prepared, and maybe it's because I didn't even realize it was February. But I'm gonna try and cram in a really fun recipe. There's lots to go over, so I'm taking some shortcuts. And this is, I don't know why people don't talk about this dessert or pastry, whatever you wanna call it. It's so incredible, really, really easy to make. And it's just, I feel like maybe it's the next cronut, I don't know. So we're gonna make something called BOSTOCK. I pre-made some. And if you watch the banana video that I did earlier, we did, you should hop over and watch the other video first to do a banana jam, because we're gonna make these banana caramel BOSTOCK. I mean, it's crazy. It's gonna be so delicious. So a couple things to do first. I've made some frangipane spread, which is super easy to do. You need a food processor, whatever kind you have is fine. I've got a cup and a half of almonds, half a cup of sugar goes in, a stick of butter, don't even think about it, it's fine. 2 eggs go in there and some vanilla. If you like a little or a lot, go for it. That goes in and it gets pureed into this like beautiful almond paste. It really doesn't take much time. I would pulse the sugar and the almonds first, then add everything else in and get it into a nice puree. You gotta get it pretty smooth. I see mine's a tiny bit chunky, doesn't really matter, but nice and smooth would be great. So let me move this all out of the way. I feel like the kitchen gets smaller and smaller the more videos I do. Okay, so that's done. We have our frangipane. Now I wanna talk to you about the bread. So usually it would be best to use, my banana jam is boiling away over there. It's gonna be so good. So I got a milk bread and I got a brioche. It's best to use, this is really done, if you've ever been to a bakery and you've had an almond croissant, that's what they do with the almonds, the croissants that they have left over. They fill them with an almond paste and then they rebake them. And that's a great way not to waste. And you know how I feel about waste, hate it. So I know there's always a piece of bread hanging around. You can keep the frangipane in the fridge or in the freezer. You can make this up at the last minute. So fun and easy on the weekend, really special. So I'm gonna cut some slices of bread. You don't wanna use pre-sliced bread, you want a nice thick slice of bread. I usually go about 1 inch. If you have pre-sliced bread, who am I to judge? Use pre-sliced bread, it will be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna do like 1 inch thick. That's how I like my French toast anyways. My jam is going crazy over there. So that's the milk bread, and then this is the brioche. Usually I would go out and get some challah, but these days, it's fend for yourself, get what you can. So I'm gonna do, we've got 2 milk bread, 2 brioche slices. I would recommend that you toast these slightly first. It will just help everything kind of hold together. But for the sake of this television, we're just going to go ahead. So I've got them on a parchment lined sheet. You can make as many as you want. Traditionally, they put a little bit of a syrup on here. You could make a very simple syrup if you want, with cinnamon, any kind of flavors you love, orange simple syrup. And simple syrup is really just 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar, flavoring, and then you cook it on low heat until it makes a syrup and has melted. That's all you need to do. Take it off, cool it. I happen to have some, I cooked some tangerines the other day when I made tangerine spread, but I didn't puree it, so I have some nice, beautiful syrup in here. So I'm just gonna drizzle. This just adds like a depth of flavor, so if you don't have it, don't worry about it. So I'm just gonna add this on here to add a little bit of a depth of flavor, and of course that like citrusy flavor will be nice. Although some people use cinnamon, I don't know, that would be great too. Makes me wanna just go make some cinnamon simple syrup. Okay, so I've got some syrup on here. Next, we made the banana jam, which is a revelation to me. It's so, so, so delicious. So what I'm gonna do is just put, if you wanna use apple butter, if you wanna use raspberry jam, if you wanna use whatever you got, use that. Nutella would be good. I think this is sort of a open to interpretation kind of dessert. The next thing I had in my fridge was some caramel that we made that had some cocoa nibs in it and some coffee. I have a little bit of that left, and I'm into using things that not waste it. So I'm gonna put some coffee chocolate caramel spread. I might put some jars of these. We have some jars. I might head over to the shop this week. I may put some on there, and we'll see if we can ship them across Canada. Okay, so this might be a little much. You want maybe a couple tablespoons per, but who am I to judge? I mean, it's Valentine's Day. Put extra on. So I'm just gonna spread these around on here and make a nice layer. Same with the banana jam that's going on here. And then we're gonna spread our frangipane on the top of this. I'm gonna get more text so that I have two cameras lined up here so you guys can see the spreading process. Now, I like to get it to every corner. That way, every single bite has a nice chunk in there of something delicious. Okay, frangipane is gonna go on top. Be nice and generous with the frangipane. I would also say probably about 2 tablespoons per. You get some frangipane, and you get some frangipane, and you get some frangipane. My frangipane could be a little bit thinner. Make yours nice and smooth. It will make the texture be really, really great. So I'm gonna spread the frangipane over the top. Again, I'm just kind of wiping my spatula around the end. That's how the pros would do it, just to make sure you cover your whole surface area. You don't want any of the toast to be exposed. There you go. And then, you know, if you have jam or something and it's loose, you might have a harder time. So I always spread out from the middle, go over to the ends, press your spoon. You could use the back of a spoon, press it down. You want to get every single edge. Think of it like a French toast. So that's all covered. And now what I'm going to do, where are my almonds? Forgot my almonds. Okay. So I'm going to take my sliced almonds. Just opened a huge bag of almonds. That means I'm going to use almonds everywhere this week. And I'm just going to cover the entire BOSTOCK. If anybody knows what the origin of BOSTOCK is, by all means, send me a message. Cannot find anything about it other than it's from Normandy, so it probably has some really interesting history to it. So I'm going to cover that in almonds. If you have a nut allergy, find something else to cover it in. There's so many different things. The seed, anything crunchy would be good. Nothing. So there you have it. Look how good that looks. This is going to go in a 350-degree oven for somewhere between 18 and 25 minutes. I put it on the lower shelf. You just want to watch that the bottoms don't burn. I'm going to get all the almonds spread all over these. I showed you what they look like when they're done. My banana jam is having a field day over there. I showed you what they look like when they're done. Look at that. Crispy on the bottom. Toasted almonds on top. Now, typically you would dust a little icing sugar all over it. It's probably pretty sweet already, but it looks really, really pretty when you put the icing sugar all over it. I'll take a photo for you. And why isn't this everywhere? This has to be in like every store everywhere. It is so delicious. I don't think the bread really matters. I think you could do it on a white bread. I'm sorry, I'm talking with my mouth full. It's so good, so easy. You could always pour on a little cream and sugar. That could soak through, so it's like a little bit more like a wet kind of French toast, but this is the equivalent of like a crunchy, especially, you know, in Montreal, I could go and get a croissant in 3 minutes from now. But if you live anywhere else in Canada where you can't get a fresh pastry or a fresh croissant, if you can't get a brioche bread or a challah or something that has like an eggy butteriness to it, use white bread. Use the best white bread you can. Put some nice syrup on there to kind of soak in. The frangipane takes 2 minutes to make, mostly ingredients that everybody has on hand. Find the caramel, use some beautiful jam that you have, and happy Valentine's Day from me and the BOSTOCKs. Thanks, and don't forget to watch the banana jam recipe. Check out everything we have going on at zoeford.com. We have a really fantastic newsletter. We've worked so hard on it. So many fun things in there, always lots of tips. I take you a little bit around the world these days and show you some of my favorite places to grab ingredients, or restaurants, or fun stores to buy kitchen tools. So check that out, zoeford.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Thanks for watching. It means a lot to me. Check out what we're doing on Instagram, and see you next time. And tell me what you think of the BOSTOCKs. Best ever. Bye.